Are we out or are we in?
And we're in. Hi, welcome to Sort of the Story.
Come on in, the water's fine.
Da-na-na-na-na. We don't have a theme song yet.
Mm.
So right now it's da-na-na-na-na.
Like a sexy Pink Panther deal kind of going on.
Da-na-na-na. This is Sort of the Story, and we're here.
No.
Okay, what if that does become our theme song? What if it's just that soundbite of badly singing the Pink Panther song?
I think we have a theme song now.
You know what? It was easy. People complain about this, but I find it very easy.
Who complain?
I complain about it. I've been complaining about it for a while. Welcome to Sort of the Story. I'm Janey.
I'm Max.
And this is the podcast where we tell each other stories, and you also get to be here. We find these stories from all over. Max actually does research, and I hear them and then have to wait a whole week to repeat them to Max.
Which is very hard for her.
It's excruciating for me, because when I hear a story, I immediately interrupt whatever Max is doing to tell her about them, no matter where she is.
Which is why we have this podcast. But also, there have been at least 3 times this week where we've been talking and you've started saying something and then had to be like,
No,
never mind.
I can't. Yeah, it's not in my nature to not blurt out what I am thinking at all times. Mm-hmm. Also, I'm doing TikTok lives where I tell stories, and I'm having to censor myself and now stop telling stories. It's very weird and frustrating for me as somebody who likes to blurt out everything I'm thinking.
If I can make a recommendation, you should just do what I do and figure out what story you're going to tell within an hour before we start recording. Then there's no chance that you'll spoil it because you'll be panicking the whole time and trying to do research.
Ooh, all right. Let me try it.
ADHD kills.
We're getting closer to Halloween. In fact, we are in the last episode before Halloween.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't think about that. I thought we had one more left. So I actually found 3 stories that are all very creepy. But I chose one that wasn't as creepy because I was like, ooh, I'll save the very scary one for next week. So on All Saints Day, or All Souls Day. All Saints Day?
I don't know.
Oh, I used to be so Catholic. All
Saints Day is
Souls Day.
The November 1st, right?
Okay, yes.
Yeah, because Halloween is the eve of Halloween.
Yes, yeah. But or is it All Souls Day?
I don't know. I was never Catholic, so...
I was Catholic!
I was loosely Presbyterian.
Oh. Playing it hot and loose.
And Presbyterian.
So anyway, All Saints Day, you're going to get a banger of a story.
Or we could always do a bonus episode.
Bonus episode, yeah.
We're not going to commit to that, but...
Let's do it. Let's do it. All right. Well, this week I'm going first.
Cool. Mine is also really scary, so I'm really excited. It's really gross. I love it.
Scary one, and I am pumped. I'm gonna stop touching this just in case it's making the microphone make noise. Also, the microphone is pointed solely at Max this week because my voice, no matter where I am in the world, is louder than Max's.
I have a very muted, nasally ASMR voice. So
I do not. I have a clippy... Somebody asked me on my live if
you have a voice
high.
for the stage!
Somebody came on my live and said, are you high or do you just always laugh this much? And I was like, what a fucking piece of shit. You cunt. Anyway. We're not going to say... Oh, yeah, I forgot. This isn't for children.
My mom might listen to this.
Mrs. Higgins, I love you so much.
Mom, I'm sorry.
Anyway, we don't censor ourselves, so if you don't like 2 women cursing while telling each other bedtime stories, why are you here?
We're on episode 3. You should know this by now, guys.
Yeah, know by now, you cunts. I'm offending Max. All right.
I'm not offended. I'm just worried.
I'm about to tell you a Brothers Grimm story, okay? It's not their story. They retold a bunch of stories. So this is a German tale and not an Irish tale. So you know it's going to be extra fucked up. The Irish are like, wouldn't it be silly if like a little skeleton rode on your back like a backpack? And the Germans are like, okay, but also, what if we make that worse and also don't have a resolution?
What if your skeleton comes out of your body and another skeleton goes into your body and then you have to ride on your own body as a skeleton?
And you have to eat your own legs to survive.
Exactly.
And your legs are also your future children.
That are made of spiders.
The Germans are awesome. I'm into it. So this is a story from the Brothers Grimm called The Fitcher's Bird. In the Arne-Thompson classification system, which, do you know what the Arne-Thompson
Yes, I do.
thing is? Okay, I'm going to do a quick overview. It is, basically, we had so many fairy tales and folk tales and, like, lores and legends all, like, being told at once that they ended up making this classification system so they can group them all together. And whatever story has, like, multiple versions of it, or, you know, stories that, like, basically are the same story across nations, they get put into a different type. So this is the Arne-Thompson type 311. The heroine... I don't know if I want to tell you what 311 is. I'm realizing now it might spoil the story. Just know it's classified. I might move to
Top secret. Burn after reading.
Alright, so this is called The Fitcher's Bird. So, once upon a time, in a deep dark forest, there was a sorcerer. And the sorcerer would, every once in a while, disguise himself as a beggar and hobble around the forest and look for houses that had daughters. So one day he's hobbling around the forest and he finds a poor man's house, and the poor man has 3 daughters. And so he watches them from the forest for a while, like, you know, hobbling around pretending to be a beggar, and then he sees one of the daughters, I'm assuming the eldest because it's a German fairy tale. The oldest comes out of the house and she is like doing chores, and so once she's alone, he hobbles forward and is like, oh, I'm a poor beggar, like, can I have some water? And because she's a nice girl, she's like, yeah, okay, yeah, I'll get you some water, wait here. So she goes and she gets him some water. As soon as she reaches out to give him the cup, he grabs her arm, and the second he touches her, she loses all power. Like, she suddenly finds herself, just like in my first story that I told, she is completely at his will. So he's like, haha, I gotcha, let's go. And she's forced to follow him. They walk miles and miles and miles through the forest, and they come to his house where he keeps her. Now she's in his home, though, and he's like, this is your audition to be my wife. And she's like, that's great.
I don't even know my lines.
Thank you so much for this opportunity. I won't let you down, boss. But he's like, you know, I don't know if you're going to be my wife yet, but we'll see. So he keeps her for a couple days. And then after a couple days, he says, I have to go. I have to go out and do some errands. So here, take this key. And he hands her a key, and he says, this key unlocks anything in the house. You can go anywhere except for that one door over there. He points at this really suspicious door, and he's like, you can't go in that room. Don't go in that room. I'll know if you do. But anywhere else, you can go ahead and go. And he goes to walk out, and he's like, oh, also, here's this egg. And he gives her a giant egg. And he's like, take care of that egg for me. See you later, babe. And then he leaves, right? So this girl is, like, holding this egg, and she's like, I don't like this. And she's walking around the house, and she goes to every room. She explores. She's like, what can I do to break the spell? Because I can't leave. I'm just stuck here. But eventually, she finds herself outside of the door that she can't open. And she's holding the key, and she's like, what if my way of escaping is in that room? Or, like, what if something really awesome's in that room? Or what if something terrible's in that room? Like, I don't know, I gotta see. So eventually she kind of drives herself crazy, like, wondering what could be in this room. So she unlocks the door, and she steps in. And immediately she realizes she is in a room of horrors. It is covered in blood and body parts. It turns out every girl that he's gotten before her, he has chopped up into little pieces. He has a huge basin full of blood in the middle of the room, which she walks up to, because at first she's like, what is this? And she realizes it's just full of blood and guts. And she gets really scared, and she drops the egg in the basin. And she's like, oh no! So she has to fish this egg out of this bloody basin. And of course, I'm sure she's like throwing up everywhere because it's old blood in like a tub. I hate it. She gets it out, and she immediately is like, I gotta clean this egg off. He's gotta know I was in here. So she's like scrubbing it. She's putting it under water. But every time she tries to clean it, the blood just appears again. So like she's like freaking out. So eventually the sorcerer comes back, and he's like, where's my egg and my key? And she's like, well, here's the key. He's like, and the egg. And she's like, no. So she hands him the egg. It's covered in blood. And he's like, you did not pass the test. You cannot be trusted, clearly. You're not a good wife. And so he grabs her by her hair and he drags her kicking and screaming into the blood room. And he proceeds to chop off her head with a rusty axe and then dismember her in the blood room.
This is deeply unhygienic.
Yeah, he's not a doctor. It's fine.
I mean, like, you couldn't come up with a better blood storage. Like, just get, like, some mason jars. You can use those for anything. Put all your blood in there, and then you don't have to worry about it rotting everywhere.
Do you think he's saving the blood? I just don't. I think he's a man who doesn't clean his house.
Oh, gross.
Yeah, like, I don't think he's, like, going to use the blood later as, like, a kitchen witch. I think he's just, like, a disgusting boy. Anyway, so...
Dudes, clean your houses.
Dudes, hey, all parents everywhere, make your kids do chores. Otherwise, they're gonna have a blood room filled with old, rotting blood. If
I had a nickel for every kid I knew that didn't do chores and later had a blood room.
I mean, all of my ex-boyfriends' parents should be shot. Anyway, so the sorcerer then takes a shower, I'm assuming, and he, like, closes, leaves his room, and he's like, I gotta go find another wife. And so he hobbles his way all the way across the forest to the house again. He's like, that house had 2 more daughters. So they've already lost one daughter, right? They're in a panic. But he hobbles up and he waits until one of the daughters comes out, the second sister. And he hobbles up and he's like, I'm just a poor beggar. Like, do you think I could have a glass of water? And she's like, okay, yeah. And so she gets him a glass of water, but just like the first sister, he touches her arm and then she's forced to follow him home. And he does the same exact thing with this sister, right? He gives her the egg and the key. He's like, I'll see you later. Don't go in that room. And then he leaves. And of course, she does the exact same thing. She cannot help herself. She's like, I don't know. I also would imagine that there are signs that her sister has been here. Like her sister had been kept there for a couple of days with the roam of the house. Like, I bet you anything there was some clue that her sister had been there. I
feel like if my sister went missing and then I got kidnapped, I would be like, this seems connected.
This is the same thing. Yeah. So she sees this room and she's like, this isn't stated, but like in my story, she's like, what if my sister's in there? And so she unlocks the door. She immediately sees her sister's cut off head. She immediately is like, oh, like what? She sees all of this stuff. It's horrible. She like passes out. She wakes up and she's covered in blood and she's dropped the egg, and the sorcerer comes home and he's like, well, you can't be trusted. You're a bad wife. And so he drags her in and he dismembers her just like her sister. So, he's not like a good guy. I think I can change him though. Then he goes off to get the third sister. He makes it to the house. The same exact thing happens, right? Because all of these girls have been taught to be polite to strangers at all costs. And that's the wrong lesson. So she follows him home. This time, though, when he leaves her in the house and is like, take care of this egg for me, she immediately is like, something is wrong. Both of my sisters are missing. Something is up with this house, obviously. Like, this egg is clearly a trap. And so what she does is, before she goes into the room, she sets the egg down on the floor. She's like, I hate this egg. So she does the bare minimum. She puts it down outside the door, and then she opens the door, and she sees this horror. She sees her sister's body parts strewn about and hanging up. So immediately she starts to freak out, but she realizes, like, if magic is to be had here, which clearly there is, this guy has some sort of powers, then I gotta do something. So she starts to piece their body parts back together. She literally goes around the whole room and she grabs their heads and arms and their legs and like their hair, all of this stuff that has been like dismembered. She gathers them all and she pieces them back, basically puts them together like a puzzle. And the second they're all together, the last piece is put in there, their body starts to weave itself back together and the sisters come back to life. So now they're like hugging and they're crying and they're all traumatized, and the younger sister's like, all right, we're gonna get out of here. Just do what I tell you. So they come out of the blood room. She locks it up. She waits for the sorcerer to come home. And when he comes home, he's like, give me the key and the egg, and blood free. And he's like, wow, you are clearly trustworthy. You can be my wife. And she's like, thank God. What a prize. But then she realizes as soon as he says that, he's lost control over her. Now suddenly she can move on her own free will and stuff like that. And she's like, huh. And then she realizes, like, maybe the tables have turned a little bit. So she tells him, she goes, so will you do anything for me? And he's like, yeah, I have to. Like, I'll do anything for you. She goes, really? Okay, then I want you to bring a whole basket full of gold to my parents' house. Because, they've lost 3 daughters. They deserve some, like, gold. I think you should pay them a dowry to get me. And he was like, all right, then I will do that. And she goes, cool, I'll pack it. And so she grabs a big basket and she tells her sisters to get inside, and then she covers them with gold. And then she's like, she puts it on his back and he's like, this is really heavy. And she's like, no shit. Gold is heavy, you stupid idiot. So she's like, all right, so I need you to walk to my parents' house with this basket of gold, and you cannot stop at all. I need you to just go there, drop it off, and come back. You can't take any breaks. You just need to walk there. And she's like, and while you're gone, I will get ready for the wedding. I'll do all the planning and stuff like that, but that's what I need you to do. And so he's like, okay. So he starts walking out, but of course it's really, really heavy, and so he's like struggling. He's carrying 2 women on his back along with a bunch of gold. So he's like struggling. After a little while, he like goes to sit. She goes, and she also tells him before he leaves, she's like, I'm gonna be in the window watching you the whole time. I will know if you stop, so don't stop. And so he's like, all right. And so he starts walking. Every time he like gets tired, like sweat is pouring down, his shoulders feel like really sore, he will set the basket down and like sit down. But the second he sits down, one of the sisters in the basket will be like, I'm watching you from the window and I see that you are sitting and I told you not to sit, so stand up and keep walking. And so he's like, Jesus. And so he's like convinced now. I guess he's convinced that his new wife is a sorcerer, because he's like, I'm sorry, honey. So he gets up and he starts walking again. But after a little while, of course, they're so heavy, he'll try to sit down, and like the other sisters will be like, I cannot believe you are sitting down right now. I told you not to sit down. You stand up and you keep walking. And so this is how he's going, right? So he eventually, miles and miles and miles, he walks and drops this gold off for her family. Meanwhile, back at the house, the younger sister has begun to make preparations. She sent out a letter, and this is not necessary. I love her. This was not necessary. She sends out invitations to every single one of his friends. She goes into his address book and is like, anybody know this motherfucker? Like, here we go. And then writes like invitations and tells them like, the wedding's today. And so she gets all of his friends and family to come because she's out for revenge. Then she goes to the blood room, she opens it up, and she finds a skull. And she grabs that skull, and then she takes it up to the window where she said she'd be watching. And she starts to decorate it with, like, flowers, and she makes it look good. I'm guessing she put some blush on the cheekbones, and she, like, puts, like, a mop wig on it. And then she sets it up in the window, and she's like, it's me, I'm beautiful. And so there's, like, a skull in the window now looking out. And then she dips herself in honey. Hear me out. Hold on. She dips herself in honey, and then she cuts open the mattress, and she just rolls around in the mattress. And so now she's covered in feathers head to toe. She looks like a really big bird. She's like perfect disguise. Also, I don't think it was necessary. But now she was a bird. Classic. And then she starts to leave, and as she's leaving, like, dressed like a big bird, all of his friends and family are starting to pile in, and they're like, hey, Fitcher's bird, where's the bride? Okay, I looked up what a Fitcher is. I thought he was a Fitcher, since it's Fitcher's bird. Apparently, the Grimm brothers put a little note at the bottom, and they were like, actually, Fitcher's bird is like a big swan. It's like a Norwegian bird. Don't worry about it.
So they just assumed that she was...
Just a big...
They were like, hey, heron.
Oh, hello. Big old goose. So they're like, hello, you silly goose. Where is, Also, they're not, like, they ask it a question and then not at all surprised when it answers. So I want to know what the hell a Fitcher's bird is. Like, does it exist?
It's just a giant,
woman,
flightless swan that smells like honey and,
old
night
blood.
sweats.
Yeah. Ew. Oh, just think about how bad those mattress feathers smelled.
I know, because if he doesn't clean that blood room, you know he doesn't wash his sheets.
So she's walking out, and they're like, hey, Fitcher's bird, where's the bride? And she's like, the bride's in the window. Can't you see her? She's looking out. She just swept the house from bottom to top, and now she's waiting in the window for her groom to come back. And so they all look up, and they see this, like, hot as hell, like, skull with mop hair, and they're like, ooh, she hot. So they all walk into the house. They're like, no further questions, Your Honor. And she keeps walking out. I'm guessing, like, bobbing her head and walking like a bird. And so eventually the sorcerer comes back, and he sees her, right? And he looks at her for a long time, and he's like, hey, big old bird. Hello, you silly goose. Where's my bride? Where's my beautiful bride who doesn't look like a bird? And she's like, oh, she swept the house from bottom to top, and now she's in the window up there. Look, can't you see her, you stupid idiot? And he's like, that is my beautiful bride. So,
and, like, the skull obviously doesn't have lips, so it's got lipstick all over its teeth.
It's got lipstick just all over its teeth. It has like rouge on its cheekbones, mop hair.
Yeah, the brow bones just have like mascara swipes on.
She's like put full makeup on. It has like bright blue eyeshadow just over the brow bones.
Their earrings hooked into the temple cavities.
It's beautiful. Wow.
What a beautiful wife he has.
And he's like, that does look like my wife. I'm a lucky man.
Rude.
She was like staring at him like, really? That's fooling? You're a terrible husband.
Is that what I look like?
She has a complex for the rest of her life. So, meanwhile, as he's like, okay, he goes into the house. Then the sisters have sent now their father, their brothers, and all of their male relatives. Because it's a German, like, old German fairy tale. So, like, all the men have to come and do this work now. Even though this girl kind of did a lot. She did a lot of crafting. And this is why crafting is a lifesaver. So she's leaving. The sorcerer goes inside, right, and is like, hey! And they all start drinking, all his friends and family, and people who have nothing to do with this kidnapping. And the brothers lock all the doors and block all the windows, right? They just, like, lock them all inside. Then they set the house on fire. And the house burns down with everybody inside of it. And the woman dressed as a bird goes back home, and they all live happily ever after. The end.
Have you seen the really shitty advice going around about, like, what to do if you're hiking and you lose reception or whatever?
No.
Have you seen this going around?
Mm-mm.
There is a post going around on a bunch of different social media channels, which is saying, like, hey, if you're ever, like, in a remote area, like, if you're hiking or anything like that, and you notice that your service is a little bit spotty, change your voicemail to say, like, your name, your location, and what your plan is if you get lost. Like, are you going to stay where you are, or are you going to, like, try and head for a ranger station or something like that? Mm-hmm. Which, if you think about it for no time at all, is really smart. But if you think about it for even a quarter of a second, that only works if someone tries to call you and your phone is on, and if you haven't already lost service, because you can only change your voicemail if you have service. And also, at that point, just call 911.
Okay, so I'm guessing, though, the advice is before you start.
No, the advice specifically says if you start to notice that your service is spotty, change your voicemail to where you are.
No, yeah, that's actually fine, because your voicemail, you don't have to call anything. On iPhones, you literally just record a new voicemail.
But you have to have service in order for it to be updated for when someone calls you.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So just call 911. If you're lost in the woods and you're losing service, but you have, like, a little bit of service, call 911, because it takes less service to call 911 than it does to change your voicemail.
I don't think you need service to call 911.
You need a little bit. You need to be near enough to a cell tower that you can get a little bit of service, but, like, it takes a lot more for you to connect to your voicemail box and stuff like that. So anyways, guys, PSA, don't do that. It's dumb. Just call 911 and get unlost instead of just being like, I feel like I might be lost.
I don't know.
I know that it's less embarrassing, but you will die. And also, if you're wrong about where you are, it could mean that, like, if you are lost, searching for you takes a lot longer. So just don't do that. Just don't do that. But that's
maybe do that before you start hiking. Just, like, literally before you start hiking.
There are lots of things that you should do before you start hiking, like making sure that someone is checking in on you, like, every day. And if you don't check in, have them call, like, park services or the police or whatever. Like, obviously, the police are not great at a lot of things, but at the very least, there will be a record that you called, and, you know, citizen organizations can come look for you. Because there's a missing person report filed.
Also, put on your voicemail, hey, I'm hiking, this is where I'm hiking at, and I plan to be back at this time. You can do all of that before you start hiking.
Yeah, there are lots of services that are available for you if you are about to start hiking that basically, like, make it safer. There was one that was recommended, and I can't remember what it was called, so that's not very helpful, but it's like an app that specifically sets up, like, emergency contacts and check-in times that remind them to check in with you and everything like that, and map your route so that they know where you are. I'm sure it's Googleable, but yeah, so that's going to be a lot safer than just wandering into the woods and hoping that someone calls you.
Yeah, like, hopefully somebody gives
so don't do that. But that's what this kind of feels like, where it's like, if you're kidnapped, Step 1, find a bunch of honey.
Okay, I was gonna say, like, never underestimate the fact that you could always just dress up like a big old bird. Men are dumb, guys. Men are dumb.
You can get out of a lot of sticky situations
by getting into a sticky situation.
Covering yourself in honey, rolling around in bed feathers, assuming that there's a feather bed also, and then
oh my god, now it's
planning a wedding.
It's all stuff with like synthetic cotton, like it's like plastic stuff,
yeah,
so
like,
you walk out and you just look like
memory foam.
Yeah.
It's just you just got honey in someone's bed and you're like
and they're like, ew, I don't want to be your husband anymore. You put a bunch of honey in my bed.
Yeah, have you ever had one of those awkward first dates where like you really want to leave but you don't want to make it weird, so you just cover yourself in honey and feathers and then plan a wedding as a giant bird and everyone's totally fine with it, so you burn the entire building down?
I mean, I've been there. I know that we've all been there.
Ladies.
Oh, just girly things. So yeah, it's a really weird one. Also, the Arns Thompson type 311 is the heroine saves herself and her sisters.
That's cool.
Yeah, it is a cool thing, but it's specifically, like, there is another type that's the heroine saves herself, but this one is specifically, they have to go, like, so specific that they're like, the heroine saves herself and her sisters. There's also, I think, I might be wrong, but I also think I read something that there is a type that the heroine, or, like, the heroine dresses up like a big bird. Like, I think it's... I think that's a type. I think that's a classification type. There are like 1,000 types, and I think that there's multiple stories where a heroine dresses up like a bird.
We call that the Black Swan stereotype.
Ooh.
Where you dress up like a bird and you act like you're going crazy, and then they let you go.
And then they don't want to marry you anymore. Guys, if anybody wants to escape a wedding, don't crawl out the window. Walk out the door. Dress like a big old goose. And they're like,
Also, you should carry around a skull at all times, covered in makeup and lipstick and stuff, to use as a decoy. So, like, you can always, here's the thing.
Okay.
You don't even need the honey and the feathers. You just get yourself, like, a mask, or, like, a scarf even.
Yeah.
And, like, a banana, right? Okay? And the skull.
Okay.
And then you can just go to your unpleasant... hopefully not husband-to-be, right? You put the scarf over your face. You hold the banana to the skull's head and you say, I've got your wife, you have to let us go! and then
like,
he'll let you go.
My wife!
She's allergic to bananas!
My sister's name is Savannah. And she does not like bananas. She never has. Like, the smell of it, everything. Like, she'll throw up if she tastes it. Like, she cannot stand the taste of bananas. My little brother, was obsessed with this fact. Like, he loved it so much. He still does, like, in a really childish way. It's something that's, like, held over from his childhood, where, like, when he was, like, a 7-year-old, he used to sneak down to her room and, like, hide bananas under her pillow, and then, like, hide and wait for her to go to sleep and be like, what is, like, a banana? And he'd be like, ha-ha! You're terrified! And we'd hear him, like, screaming, you are scared of this! Ha-ha-ha! And Savannah was like, I'm not afraid of it. I just don't want to eat it. And he's like, oh, you're so scared. And like, then he'd be like, you should have seen your face. And she's like, I bet it was confused. Because there's a banana in my bed. But like, he did that so much. And to this day, he's like, oh no, you're scared of it. And she's like, I'm not scared of it. He's like, terrified. Oh, you big baby.
Also worth noting, when Janey and I lived together in college, we had a glass head, like just a head, like a woman's head, presumably that's like made of glass, which I got at TJ Maxx.
I think it's a man's head. His name is Mr. Head, but that's me.
I'm not gonna question their gender identity, but it's a glass head, and Janey and I would hide it around our house to scare each other, in spite of the fact that neither of us were scared of it. But like, I would like tuck it into her bed so that when she got into bed, she would be face to face with like a glass head.
I'd put it in the cabinet, so if you open the cabinet for cereal, there was just a glass head in there where the
like
cereal
up at the top,
was.
like looking down at you while you were trying to eat your cereal at 2:30 in the morning.
The only one we ended up scaring was our roommate Robert.
Yeah, who was not a part of this. He was just he was collateral damage.
He would like open a cabinet, you'd hear him go, no! When will this end?
Never. We still have that glass head in our house.
Yeah.
They haven't moved for a while, but who knows? Halloween's coming.
We're old and lazy now. They're so high up. I mean, I would have to get a step stool to get them.
You're so little. It's a little baby.
I want everyone to know I am 5'8", and everyone listening to this is shorter than that, so.
I'm 5'11", and 3/4.
And 3/4. I was waiting for you to say that, because you might as well say you are 6 feet tall, but that 3/4
It depends on the
matters.
context, because if I'm being like, I'm big and I'm scary, I'm like, yeah, I'm 6 feet tall, okay? So don't mess with me. Whereas if I'm like, yeah, you know, I'm like just a little guy. I'm 5'11", 3/4.
Little guy. It's fine. You don't need to like worry about me. That's like your way to like.
It's my birthday. I'm the birthday boy.
Come on. All right. Well,
Cool.
the Fitcher's bird. Can we take a quick break?
No. Yes, go ahead.
Good God, man.
All right. So my story is also about heads.
What story am I about to hear? I mean, I'm not saying no, I just want more details.
So I was looking for stories, and I still feel like my stories haven't been very scary, and I really wanted to do a scary one.
Okay.
So I was like, scary folk stories, and I Googled it,
Yes.
as you do. And I found this one, which is called Raw Head and Bloody Bones.
Ooh.
Super spooky name. I read it, I was like, this is perfect. And then I realized it sounded weirdly familiar, and I went to my massive library. I found out that I have a book called Raw Head, Bloody Bones.
Yes.
It's African American Tales of the Supernatural, selected by Mary E. Lyons, copyright 1991.
Year I was born.
Yeah!
Oh.
Wow. Coincidence? I think not.
Yeah, I wrote this book.
So it sounded familiar, so I read the version that I found online, and then I read in the book, there's actually 2 different stories called Bloody Bones and Rawhead, Devil, and the Barefoot Woman, which are 2 separate stories. And I was like, that's weird that it's called the same thing. And so I did a little bit more research, and it turns out that this is a theme, kind of, which is really interesting. Anyways, I'll tell you more about it after I tell the story, but just really interesting from a folkloric perspective. Again, with a quick Google, it said that it had Cornish origins and also African American origins. And so, in general, I assume in that situation it's first African American. But I was wrong this time. It actually started in England and then came over and was a story told, especially by like people who took care of kids, which was equal parts like nannies from England and also like black caretakers. In the American South. So it's a story that like got around that way and became a really big part of the Missouri Ozark rural folk tapestry and also the Gullah culture of the area, which is really interesting.
That is really cool.
Yeah, especially because usually that is not how things go. Usually there are African or African American stories that are co-opted and whitewashed.
Yeah.
To put it lightly. So,
yeah, usually
this is a cool rare instance that I just...
Very prominent.
Yeah. So this is Rawhead Bloody Bones. This version of the story is from S.E. Schlosser on AmericanFolklore.net. The story comes from the Ozarks in Missouri. So there once was this old woman who lived in the woods. Her name was Old Betty. She had black and gray hair and one green eye and one yellow eye. And she was known to be the greatest conjurer in that area. She was the best there was at fixing what ailed a man, and that was all that counted. So anything that you had a problem with, you would go to Old Betty, and she would, mix up a potion or do a spell, and she would fix you.
Gosh, she sounds cool as hell.
Yeah, immediately. She lives in her little hut in the woods. It's full of, like, potion making materials, like bones and herbs and everything, and then all of these spell books. She was also one of the only people in the area that could read, so she didn't have to worry too much about her spell books because no one would have any use for them except for her. She was taught by her grandmother how to do all these spells and everything like that, who also taught her how to read. Her only friend is a mean old razorback hog, like a wild boar. His name is Rawhead, and he's this big, gnarled old boar that sort of hangs around her house, sort of like a dog. Like roots around in her garbage. He gets into all like the like spell stuff, like all the leftovers. So the people in the town say that he's like a little bit magical because he's been eating all of these spell leftovers. So sometimes people see him walking upright like a man. One man said that he saw Rawhead sitting on the rocking chair in Old Betty's house and just rocking back and forth and talking to Old Betty while she was making her spells. But that man also was known to be very fond of moonshine, so nobody believed him. Rawhead would go with her everywhere, you know, always sort of looking for leftovers, and they were friends. Every week she would go into town to the town mercantile and sell her potions and remedies to basically the general store in town, and Rawhead would come with her into town, and then they would go home together. One day, Old Betty showed up at the mercantile without Rawhead, and the owner of the mercantile was like, "Hey, I noticed you came in without Rawhead. Where is he?" And she was like, "I don't know. I haven't seen him all day. Have you guys seen him here in town?" And the owner of the mercantile was like, "I haven't, but if we see him, we'll send him back your way. You know, I'm really sorry. I hope you find him." She's like, "Absolutely." So she hands over all of her potions, her remedies, and you know, the mercantile owner pays her for her wares. This is very strange because especially the day that Old Betty goes into town, Rawhead always makes sure to come because the owner of the mercantile always keeps little food scraps around and gives it to Rawhead.
Okay, Rawhead doesn't sound like he's mean.
I know.
They describe him as a mean boar, but he sounds really sweet, and everyone seems to love him.
I agree. Yes, he seems very, very sweet. Everyone loves him. I don't understand justice for Rawhead. Anyways.
Justice for Rawhead.
So, Old Betty gets home, and she's worried now, you know, like, she hasn't seen Rawhead still. And so she mixes together a potion and she pours it onto a plate, and, you know, swirls it around. And she looks into the potion on the plate and it clouds over, and then she sees an image appear. And it's a hunter, a poacher in the woods. And he's rounding up all the razorback hogs and bringing them to Hogscald Hollow, which is an area that's basically just a gully that hogs can't get out of, that all the towns do their slaughtering in.
No.
And she sees that Rawhead is with them. And she sees Rawhead being rounded up, and she sees him being slaughtered.
No!
And gutted, and then she sees the poacher's wagon full of hog bones and skinned hog heads, including Rawhead. Very, very sad. I am
devastated.
I almost gave up reading this story at this point. Yeah, it broke my heart completely. Old Betty is usually a white conjurer. She usually does, you know, she helps people, she fixes problems.
She's a healer. Oh, yes.
Not anymore.
Yes! Get revenge, Old Betty!
Yeah, this poacher's been lurking around. He knows that Rawhead is her hog, and he is just a slimy guy, and she is furious.
Okay, for the rest of the story, I'm imagining everything in the style of Kill Bill.
Absolutely.
Go. She's in a full-on yellow jumpsuit.
Yes. And also, Rawhead is like her only friend. And this guy just slaughtered it. You know, it's devastating. So she lights all these candles around the potion plate, and she chants over it, Rawhead and bloody bones. Rawhead and bloody bones. A bolt of silver lightning shoots out from the potion, out her window, and out to Hogscald Hollow. It strikes Rawhead's Rawhead.
Yeah.
And the head rolls out of the cart, rolls over to where all of his bloody bones are sitting. And the head shouts, "Bloody bones, get up and dance."
Ooh.
The bones reassemble themselves into the shape of an upright hog. And then the head rolls all the way up to the top, perches itself, you know, like cartoon skeleton style on top.
Tim Burton style.
Yeah, exactly.
Ghost dog. Got it.
And Rawhead goes on a hunt.
Yes.
Rawhead goes into the forest, He finds the sharp teeth of a dying panther, which seems like a story in its own right.
I'm sorry.
The panther's dying and is just like, here you go, here's my teeth.
He spits out his dentures and dies peacefully. An old panther at the end of his life.
Finds the sharp teeth of a dying panther, the claws of a long dead bear, and the tail of a rotting raccoon. And he puts them all on. He puts the claws on his hooves. He puts the panther teeth in his mouth, and he puts the raccoon tail on his tail. So also,
I get
gruesome so far.
It is. I get why, if you're going hunting, why you would need really sharp teeth and why you would get really sharp claws. But, like, the tail seems like a departure. Like, Rawhead, focus. All right, I know
He's got a swishy tail now. It's so cute.
He's like, look, it looks like a bandit. He's so cute.
Yeah, for sure. So you've got this skinned hog's head on a bloody skeleton with bear claws and panther teeth sticking out of its mouth. Also still with, tusks, presumably. And then a raccoon tail, which just seems kind of cute. And these big
kids.
Yeah, these googly yellow eyes sticking out of the skinned head. Absolutely terrifying.
Yeah.
So, Rawhead heads off in the direction that the hunter went home. He passes him on the road, slinking through the bushes, and he gets ahead of him. And he gets to the hunter's house before the hunter gets home. Rawhead climbs up into the carriage loft over where the hunter would hitch his horses, and he waits. So the hunter gets home. He brings his horse and carriage over to the stable. He unhooks his horse, and the horse freaks out. Because it can tell that Rawhead is there.
It can smell blood. Can't horses smell blood really easily?
Probably, and also that's terrifying.
Seems
right they have big nose, but also terrifying. I'm very scared of horses.
What?
Who isn't?
Me.
They're so big. They could flatten you to death.
Okay.
Anyways. So the hunter looks up into the loft and he sees this pair of eyes looking down at him. And he figures a kid has snuck into his loft. Mm-hmm. And he says, what are you doing up there? Like, don't play up there. What do you have those big eyes for?
Oh, no. Well, I wouldn't ask a child that. Like, what do you mean?
And Rawhead whispers down,
no,
to see your grave.
Ooh.
And the hunter's like, ha ha. Great joke, kid. Listen, you gotta get out of my loft. Like, you really have to leave. And Rawhead slinks forward just a little bit more, and the hunter sees these bear claws at the edge of the loft, and he says, "Where did you get those claws from? Like, have you been poaching? You need to get out of my house. Like, go home." And Rawhead says, "The claws are to dig your grave." Mm-hmm. The hunter at this point is like, "This kid is crazy.
This kid is super goth."
So he, sort of rushes through hitching his horse up and walks out of the stable. And Rawhead follows him out. He slips through the bushes super quietly for a boar that is also walking on bear claws with a swishy
you can hear
tail.
Summer out of the door clicking just from him like standing outside the door. Like my dog every once in a while will click to the door and you can hear him. Mm-hmm. Like, how is this boar with bear claws somehow like padding around like nothing? I call it bullshit.
He's super sneaky.
Oh, he's so sneaky. Summer needs to learn how to be sneakier.
So Rawhead rushes ahead to the tree line, and he looks out at the hunter from behind a moonlit rock. And the hunter sees these eyes peering out at him from the tree line again, and he also sees from behind the rock the raccoon tail. And he said, "Hey kid, what are you doing? Like, where'd you get that raccoon tail? Like, what are you going to use that for?" And Rawhead says, "To sweep your grave."
Okay.
Sure. Also nice of him to tidy up.
I was waiting for the explanation. It delivered. It's terrifying. It delivered. I'm fine.
Also, though, he's like, "I'm going to bury you, and then I'm going to keep it clean.
I'm
just going to sweep."
what he's saying is no one's going to see that you were buried
that's
here.
much scarier.
Yeah,
okay,
like
yeah.
he's like, I'm gonna fucking
board.
hide this grave.
I thought he was like, and I'm gonna sweep off your tombstone. There's gonna be like no lichen on it.
Every year I'm gonna come back and clean it and make sure.
Plant roses on you, asshole.
Hey, yeah. Rawhead wasn't mean. Everyone said he was mean, but he was so nice to
and
that
he's
man
a great
murdered.
gardener.
Oh my god. I hope he's the one that buries me.
So at this point, the hunter is terrified.
Yeah.
And so he bolts back to his house, and he gets to the porch just in time for Rawhead to catch up with him. And Rawhead, this massive boar standing on its hind feet, towering over him, meets him at the porch. And the hunter, really just committing to the bit and not understanding the gravity of the situation, says, well, what do you have those big teeth for? Man, you have bigger problems. And Rawhead said, to eat you up like you wanted to eat me.
Oh, yeah, Rawhead.
Yes. After that night, the hunter was never seen again.
Good.
His horse also went missing from the stable.
No!
Hold on.
Oh, did they run away and get married?
No. It's also weird. After that day, people started seeing Rawhead walking around again with old Betty in the woods. And every month on the full moon, Rawhead would be seen riding into town on the man's horse.
What?
Wearing the man's overalls.
Yes.
His blue denim overalls with a hole cut out at the back for a raccoon tail. That's not a joke. That's in the story. Riding his horse through town, carrying his hog's head in his bare claws held up high. Mm-hmm. And he just rides around the town.
Rawhead,
and
why?
that's the end of the story.
Rawhead, why?
So first of all, everyone should go apologize to that guy who they thought was a drunk.
Yeah. Okay, yeah.
Also...
That guy is like...
He was sitting in a chair like a person, and everyone was like, you're crazy! And now this, like, stripped, skinned hog's head being held aloft by a cobbled together skeleton is riding a horse. Also, he's wearing overalls.
Okay.
The skeleton, not the horse.
And the horse
riding
is wearing
through town.
overalls.
Yeah. I guess that answers the question, like, if a boar was to wear overalls, how would he do it? And it's...
It doesn't, because we don't exactly... I know you said he was wearing the man's overalls, but, like, you're imagining him wearing them like a man would.
Yeah.
What if he's wearing them just on his hind legs?
Yeah, that's what I mean. How else would you wear them? They only have 2 legs. They don't have 4 legs.
Oh.
You know what I mean?
Okay, yeah, you're right. I apologize to you and the old drunk.
But also, that hunter who was, like, seeing this, like, towering...
Full-on denial.
Bloody monstrosity over him on his porch. Bear claws, like, held to his neck, just like... And he's like, but what are your teeth for?
Hold on. I get the tail now. I get the claws. Tell me about the teeth, though, because those look like panther dentures.
Panther dentures. Say that 5 times fast.
Panther dentures. Panther dentures. Panther dentures.
That's 3.
Oh, panther dentures. Panther dentures.
We need to work on your counting.
I made a new word. Okay, that's terrifying and amazing. The whole time I was hearing that, I'm seeing the picture in my head.
Yeah.
Like, you just kept adding more and more weird animal elements. Also, I'm imagining her not with his, or him, I'm imagining Rawhead not with its eyes, but with old Betty's yellow and green eye.
Ooh, yeah.
Right?
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
because
really good.
Because old Betty was the one that reanimated him.
Yeah. I also, I just love it. I love how much she loves her friend.
I just think that the beginning of that story really set Rawhead up. I think, again, justice for Rawhead. Because
Absolutely.
Rawhead was not only friendly, he was able to be amongst the people without attacking people. That's something that, like, mean old boars can't be around people. That's, like, the whole point of boars. They're very scary.
Yeah. They made a point to be, like, in the beginning of the story, like, he was mean and nasty and gross.
Ew.
Also, he liked to eat little treaties from the dinner table.
And he was a big fan of belly scratches, and he was a great conversationalist.
He liked to hang out and knit while old Betty was making her potions.
Her potion. Also,
what
old
an
Betty,
asshole.
Old Betty was a terrifying witch. If you were sick, she would cure your sniffles.
Yeah, they really did set this up to be a different kind of story. Also, I am very upset that they killed Rawhead.
I am devastated.
Yeah, what a sweet boy. Leave him alone.
He got his revenge. I'm here for him getting his revenge, though.
For
like, holy
sure.
Crap.
Yeah, absolutely terrifying. I love it. I feel like the raccoon tail was just a really... like, if you've got, like, weird teeth and, like, weird claws, that's like, okay, that makes sense. But the raccoon tail really makes it like, oh, this guy's fucked up. Like,
I wonder if... Because I know that he was like, I'm going to sweep your grave, which is great. I wonder if, at the end, Rawhead realized that he needed to stand up on his hind legs. And he was like, I can't do that because I can't balance. Too top heavy. And so he got a raccoon tail to help him, like, help the physics of it, you know?
I like that idea.
Yeah. That's how Summer can stand on his hind legs for so long. Summer can walk around like a little T-Rex.
I feel like the raccoon tail is like the leather jacket on the situation, though.
Makes him look cool.
Yeah, it makes him look super scary. Like, that's not just like a boar that's had like a manny or whatever. That's like
A manny.
That's like a boar that's like putting like corpse parts on him. He's ready to fucking rock and roll.
Okay, now imagine instead of him wearing overalls, he's wearing a leather jacket, right? And sunglasses.
What if not instead of, but in addition? He's wearing overalls, no shirt underneath, like a
Of course
badass.
not.
He's got like kind of a hairy chest, but not in a gross way.
One of the overalls is unclipped. One of the sides is like unclipped, so it's
Yeah.
only one is hanging off.
He's got like a cigarette behind his ear.
Yeah, he's wearing like cool shades and a
Yeah.
leather jacket, and his like boar hair is in a mohawk. You know how boars wear mohawks?
Yeah, that's what a razorback is the ones that have the mohawk.
Yeah, he's got a
Yeah, he's a
mohawk.
badass.
He's a badass. He's a little.
He's kind of a hottie.
I was like, should we call him? I don't know. That horse doesn't seem like it seemed like it was unjustly punished. Like, is the horse
punished? No, that's his horse now.
Nobody's seen him again though.
Well, they did though. Is the thing.
Every month they see him, but like he's being ridden by a ghost hog. So like, is he also a ghost?
Mm.
Does old Betty now have to take care of a horse because her pet went out and got a pet?
I don't know. Make it easier to get into town. I'm just saying.
Replace the horse with a motorcycle, a hog, if you will.
Oof.
Oof.
So, the things I wanted to talk about after the fact.
Mm-hmm.
So like I said, this was originally, that is the version, that is from Missouri.
Okay.
That is, sort of the, like fusion story. This is also, I couldn't find records of this. There wasn't any sources cited for, where S.E. Schlosser got the story from, but she does a lot of first-hand storytelling, so a lot of times she'll go to a place and ask the people there for fairy tales, which is really cool. That's a really great way of doing folklore. But again, I couldn't find any sources, so I don't know exactly the pedigree of this story, like where it comes from or anything like that. However, the book that I have, Rawhead, Bloody Bones, again by Mary E. Lyons, is specifically the African-American version of the tale, in that Rawhead and Bloody Bones are two distinct figures. Bloody Bones is a story about this guy, what's his name? High Walker. His name's High Walker.
Cool name.
Yeah, right? And every night he goes to a cemetery and he tells all the bones in the cemetery, like, bloody bones, get up and dance. And all the like skeletons come out of their graves and they do a little dance. And then...
Is that what old Betty told Rawhead?
Yes.
She said, Rawhead, bloody bones, get up and dance?
Yeah.
Or that's what he said?
That's what the
hog
Rawhead
said,
said to the bloody bones, was
okay.
Bloody bones, get up and dance. Which is really cool. So this guy would always go to the graveyard and be like, bloody bones, get up and dance. And then they would all get up and dance, and they would dance the night away, and in the morning he would leave. And there was a man who sold his soul to the devil who died in the woods nearby, and High Walker tripped over his skull And he was like, oh, sorry. And the skull didn't say anything. And he was like, excuse me?
Hi! Please.
And he, like, kicked the skull again and was like, hey, get up and dance.
Oh, shit.
And so finally the skull said to High Walker, my mouth brought me here, and if you don't mind yourself, yours will bring you here as well. And so High Walker went back home and was like, you will not believe what just happened. I talked to a skull.
And everyone's like, wow. And he's like, no, wait.
No. He's like, I just talked to a skull. And the guy that he's talking to is like, I don't believe you. That didn't happen. And he's like, no, it totally did. And he's like, okay, prove it. And he's like, okay, fine. We'll go find that skull. And if it doesn't talk, you can chop off my head.
Why?
Yeah.
High Walker. It already said it didn't want to talk.
Yeah, so they went back out in the woods, and he, like, kicked the skull, and he was like, Bloody Bones, get up and dance, talk to me. And the skull was like, and it didn't say anything. That was my impression of something not saying anything.
I was gonna say, and the skull was like, I mean, that is a spot-on impression of somebody not talking.
And so the guy, like, chopped his head off, and
what a dick.
yeah, and then he walked past the cemetery and he was like, hey, all you Bloody Bones, why didn't you stick up for High Walker? And they were like, because he's with us now.
Oh.
And his, like, mouth did get him into trouble and he did get his head chopped off. So that's Bloody Bones. And then Rawhead is mentioned in a story called Rawhead, Devil, and the Barefoot Woman, which is a story about Rawhead basically is like a lower demonic figure who breaks up husbands and wives.
Is he still a boar?
No.
Okay. I was like, can you imagine a boar coming up and like, okay, well then it's a boar.
Yeah,
and
Rawhead is not
And
described.
he's like, girl, leave your husband.
Yeah. And he like makes a pact. He's like, there's this couple that I can't break up, and he makes a pact with the devil who's like, I can break those guys up. Like, I'm the devil. I do whatever I want. And he's like, you're really good at this, so like, if you can do this, then, you know, good on you. But if you can't, I get half of hell.
Oh.
And the devil's like, you're on. And he tries really hard and he can't break them up. And then this woman comes up and is like, hey, you trying to break these people up? And he's like, yeah. And she's like, okay, I can do that for you. And so she goes up to the woman and she's like, oh my God, you're so pretty. And the woman's like, oh my God, you're so pretty.
Oh.
And she's like everything here is so pretty. And the woman's like, yeah. And my husband is also so pretty. And the barefoot woman is like, sorry, the barefoot woman is the one who makes the deal with the devil. Also, the deal that she makes with the devil is that if she can't do it, the devil can have her soul. But if she can, the devil has to give her a pair of shoes. Which, like, just go to a store and buy shoes.
Yeah,
but
ask the devil for some money. You can't afford shoes.
Yeah, so the barefoot woman...
This is like a house elf situation where, like, the shoes mean something more.
Yeah. So the barefoot woman is talking to the woman, and the woman's like, yeah, my husband is, like, also super pretty. And the barefoot woman is like, yeah, totally. Except for, like, what's that thing on his neck? And she's like, what do you mean? And she's like, oh, he has, like, this gross mole on his neck. Like, he would be super hot if not for that gross mole. And the woman is like, oh, okay, yeah, I know. He does have, like, a really gross mole on his neck. But, like, he's scared that he'll bleed out, basically, if he tries to cut it off. And the barefoot woman is like, what a baby. Just how in the middle of the night, you take a razor, you cut it off, and then you know, like, put a Band-Aid on it, and he'll be fine. And the woman's like, oh my God, you're totally right. He would be so hot without that mole. And then the barefoot woman goes to the man, and she's like, I heard your woman was stepping out. And he's like, who are you? Get out of my house. And she's like, I'm just saying, man, like, she found someone else, and I heard her talking. She's going to try and kill you in the middle of the night. She's going to try and cut off your head. And the guy's like, you're crazy, get out.
Also,
and then...
at this point, how many people have come up to, like, try to sabotage their marriage? He's like, what is happening?
And so,
this
in the middle of the night...
boar was in here the other day, and it was also like, leave your wife.
So, in the middle of the night, the woman goes to cut the mole off of her husband, and he's like, aha, you're trying to kill me, and they get broken up, which...
You know what? Divorce!
Yeah, and so then the woman gets her shoes, and the devil gets to keep all of hell. So that's Rawhead,
and Rawhead
Devil,
gets
and
nothing.
the Barefoot Woman. Yeah, Rawhead is barely even in that story. So that's the stories that I could find on that. A little bit more research. Bloody Bones is sometimes considered a water demon, sort of like not a kelpie, what's it called?
A mermaid.
Like a Jetty Green Teeth, where like
a
if kids go in the water,
mermaid.
Yeah, so Janey Greenteeth is also like a water demon that like drags kids down if they go into the water when they're not supposed to. So Bloody Bones is sometimes considered like that. It's like a skeleton and it comes up and it's like, and it like drags you to the bottom of the ocean. Or sometimes it lives in like cupboards or like rooms that you're not supposed to go into. And so if your parents say that you shouldn't go into the cupboard or into a room or something like that, and you peek in there anyways, you'll see this crouching figure with blood running down its face, standing on a pile of the bones of children who had lied or said bad words. Which just seems like a parent trying to keep their kid in line while also ruining them psychologically for life.
That's everything, though. Like,
yeah.
That's everything. That's
but like,
the boogeyman
like
story.
a crouching figure with blood running down its face on a pile of bones in the dark. Just tell your kid not to go into a room.
I will say, the stories that you're telling have a lot of similarities to the story that I told. There's like a clear theme of like, you don't go into the room because if you open the door, it's like all these body parts and like a basin of blood and there's corpses in there.
Yeah.
Bloody Bones is in the corner, like, here's all my...
bones.
Here's all my bones.
The Cornish story is of a ghost sort of figure that inhabits an area called Knocker's Hole near the town of Baldu. It might be the ghost of someone from a massacre that happened there, but I couldn't find anything about the massacre, so I don't know. But that's that Cornish story is the first iteration of the term Bloody Bones, according to the Oxford English Dictionary. So then when the story was brought over to the southern U.S., Rawhead and Bloody Bones are sometimes considered two creatures, sometimes considered two parts of the same creature.
Like in the first story.
Yeah, where Rawhead is a skull without skin, and then Bloody Bones is a dancing skeleton without a head. And they're kind of like buddy cops. And Rawhead, like, bites you if you're bad.
Okay.
Yeah, and then I guess the skeleton like dances in the back, like it's like break dancing.
Bloody Bones is fully committed to the bit. He's like, yeah, get him. He's doing the Running Man in the back.
Yeah. The story that I told about Bloody Bones, about the man like being like, oh, you know, this skull wouldn't talk to me. That is actually the origin of a term in sort of early African American folklore, where if someone was being a gossip, you would just say talking skeleton or talking skull, which would be like, hey, if you keep talking like that, then you're gonna end up a talking skeleton or a talking skull.
The amount of time somebody should have said that to me.
Also, there's a nursery rhyme about Rawhead and Bloody Bones, which goes, Rawhead and Bloody Bones steals naughty children from their homes, takes them to his dirty den, and they are never seen again.
Oh.
Which feels like a Freddy Krueger thing to me.
Yeah.
Which is also a weird parallel, because like the Rawhead thing and like the Bloody Bones thing. Anyways.
I wish I had grown up with that nursery rhyme. That's cool as hell.
Incidentally, you know who did?
Who?
Dolly Parton. Dolly Parton's autobiography, she talks about how her parents, whenever she wasn't supposed to do something, and then she did anyways, they would be like, Rawhead's gonna get you. Bloody Bones gonna get you.
Cool shit!
Yeah.
Oh!
My notes just say Dolly Parton, question mark. But also, just as two final things, there's a Susie and the Banshees song from their album Peep Show, which is called Rawhead and Bloody Bones.
Cool.
Also, there's an episode of Supernatural which mentions Rawhead. If you guys have ever watched Supernatural, the episode where Dean almost dies and like meets the Reaper in the hospital and everything like that, that one starts with him getting electrocuted in a pool of water, and Rawhead is the water demon that they're hunting in that episode of Supernatural.
Cool.
So spoilers for Supernatural, guys, but also it's been out forever, and also it doesn't matter. So
Yeah, like
I love that show, but like if you're worried about spoilers, then like they kill God like 8 times. So
if you haven't watched Supernatural by now, like you're not gonna. Sorry, but you're just not.
You
like,
missed it.
It's on your watch list. You're never gonna do it. I'm gonna go ahead and say right now.
Yeah.
When I was growing up, actually, I think this might have been a conversation you and I had. When I was growing up, my mother used to sing us the Lizzie Borden rhyme all the time. Like, we grew up just like classic nursery rhymes. The Lizzie Borden had an axe, gave her father 40 whacks. When she saw what she had done, she gave her mother 41. And we used to sing it, we used to say it, we would play hand clap games, and my mom was the one, like, at night would be like, good night, but before I go to sleep, can you, like, sing this Lizzie Borden song? And she'd be like, sure! And then we would do that, and I just assumed everybody had grown up with that rhyme. Like, I assumed that was, like, a fun little game rhyme that every child's parents had told them, and I think it was until I talked to you, and you were like, the fuck? That's not a nursery rhyme parents sing to their children. That's a true crime case.
Yeah. Also, what's the other one? It's like a little song that you thought was it like a nursery rhyme about don't something when you walk past a graveyard.
Don't ever laugh as the hearse goes by.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's from the Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark.
Okay, so you knew that was a scary story.
Yeah, it's the don't ever laugh as the hearse goes by, for you may be the next to die. They wrap you up in a big white sheet from your head to your feet. They put you in a big black box and cover you up with dirt and rocks. All goes well for about a week, and then your coffin begins to leak. The worms crawl in, the worms crawl out, the ants play pinnacle on your snout.
This is just
they eat your eyes, they eat your nose, they eat the jelly between your toes. You spread that on a piece of bread, and that's what you eat when you are dead.
So just Schoolhouse Rock for, like, the fear of mortality.
Again, I didn't see anything wrong with that as a child. We listened to it constantly. We said it constantly. My siblings and I, like, would write stories about it. Like, we were in it. I may have grown up in the Addams Family house.
You did.
Yeah, just a little. Terrifying, spooky Halloween. And
spooky Halloween.
Maybe we'll do a bonus episode.
Maybe.
Who knows? The fear of the unknown. For real, guys, I hope you have a safe week. And we'll see you soon.
Yeah, check for razor blades in your Apple products.
That's not a real thing. Wait, you're like Mac? Like your iPhone and your MacBook?
Yep. Check your iPhone for knives and shit.
Steve Jobs is trying to kill you.
From beyond the grave.
Woo! Bye.
Happy Halloween. Here's what we need.
Okay.
Funding.
Yes. All right. Yes. Keep going.
We need to be supported by a massive podcast network of professionals who can fix everything for us so that everything is perfect.
Right. Come sponsor us. Give us a sound booth. I would even settle for 2 microphones. I don't want to be like greedy though, but like 2 microphones.
Karen, Georgia, balls in your court.